Hello and welcome to Bust or Trust, a kids' mystery podcast. I'm Tiernan.
And I'm Athena. Bust or Trust is the podcast where we unravel the world's greatest mysteries with help from you, our chief detectives.
We present all the best evidence and then ask you to decide. Which team are you on?
Are you a myth buster like me?
Or are you a myth truster like me? We look into all sorts of strange stories from around the world to find out what really happened, so that you can ask, is it real or is it false?
Is it fact or is it fiction?
Is it once to the left and then a step to the right?
Yes, and then put your hands on your hips and bring your knees in tight.
And then I spin on my head.
No, don't spin on your head, please.
Oh.
Not enough space.
We'll tell you at the end of the show just how to get in touch so you can let us know if you're on Team Buster or the best one, Team Truster.
So, chief detectives, get ready to take notes and start putting together your case while we have a quick word with the grown-ups.
But before we do, I have exciting news. The Bust or Trust book is now available to pre-order. Like the show, it's packed full of legendary people, strange events, mythical creatures, magical places, and otherworldly tales, with 10 real-life mysteries to dive into. And it's stuffed full of wonderful illustrations too. Visit our website for more details at bustortrust.com. Now, a word with the grown-ups. Exciting news for our Bust or Trust families and dog lovers. We have partnered with BarkBox to bring you a whole host of amazing treats and toys for your dog. Bark have a simple mission to make all dogs happy. Yes, all of them, and that's a plan we can get behind. So, stay tuned for exciting offers and treats ahead. Go to bustortrust.com and follow the links to buy from BarkBox. And every time you do, you'll not only be pampering your furry friend, but you'll also help us keep making more episodes of Bust or Trust. Oh, we could do some dog mysteries like Who's a Good Boy or Who Let You All Out? Woof! That's thank you in Doglish.
The case.
Would you want to be taken by aliens, Athena?
Taken where? If it's to the zoo or for a nice lunch, then sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think it's usually just on their spaceships, for a look around, I guess. And maybe if they really like you, you might get to fly it a bit.
What do you mean usually? No one's ever been taken by aliens anywhere.
They have, just like this week's case, the Travis Walton incident, one of the most famous alien abduction cases there is. I have my bag all packed ready for when the aliens pop down to pick me up.
What on earth would you pack for a trip with aliens?
Spare socks and pants, OVs, some spare diabetic supplies because I need those, a few things to read, and my favourite, an egg mayonnaise sandwich.
Oh, what is that smell? Hang on, when did you start packing your bags?
A few months ago, because, it's good to be ready. You never know when aliens will visit.
Oh, I think you need to be prepared to throw that egg sandwich away. Oh, it's gone off.
OK. Well, can you tell the chief detectives about the case while I put this in the bin?
Oh, the bin? You might have to throw the whole bin away then too. Chief detectives, the Travis Walton incident was an alleged...
Or real?
alleged alien abduction of an American forestry worker. The story goes that on the night of November the 5th, 1975, 6 workers said they were driving along a forest road when they saw a brightly glowing object hovering above the ground ahead of them. One of the workers, Travis Walton, got out of the truck and ran towards the object. The others saw it shine a light on him, and they drove away in fear. When they returned 15 minutes later, the object and Travis were gone.
A search party of 50 people looked around the area, but no one could find Travis, and the police declared him as missing. Then, after 5 days, Travis made a call to his family from a place 12 miles away from where he was last seen. Travis told the police and the press that all he remembered was being struck by the light, and then he woke up in a hospital-like room being observed by 3 small, bald creatures. He fought with them until a human wearing a helmet led him to another room where he blacked out again. He found himself wandering the highway 5 days later as a flying saucer flew away.
Travis's story spread across America, and tabloid newspaper The National Enquirer awarded him $5,000 for the best UFO story. His book about the experience was adapted into a 1993 film called Fire in the Sky. And the incident has been called the best known and probably best documented abduction in the history of the UFO phenomenon. But many skeptics say that it was all just a hoax and a way for the forestry workers to avoid a steep fine for failing to finish their work on time.
So, Chief Detectives, this week you have to decide, was Travis Walton really abducted by aliens or not?
I can still smell that horrible sandwich, Tiernan.
Oh, no, sorry, that's actually my breath. I shouldn't have eaten the sandwich so quickly, but it still looked so good.
Oh, it smells rotten. Honestly, it's awful. It's awful. Even if aliens did abduct people, I think they'd smell what you just did and leave you on Earth.
Well, who needs a tractor beam from a UFO to draw people in, Athena, when I've got a first piece of evidence as good as this?
First piece of evidence.
The first piece of evidence is Travis Walton's detailed account of what happened to him and the comments by his co-workers. All of them say that they saw a bright light by the road that looked like a golden disc, hovering 20 feet above the ground. They say it was around 10 feet thick and 20 feet in diameter, around the same size as if someone made a cube out of 3.5 giraffes.
You just said it was a disc.
OK, a disc of 3.5 giraffes then. All the workers, including Travis Walton, say that he was the only one to leave the truck, at which point a beam of light lifted him into the air. Travis says that when he woke up, he felt a pain like there was something very wrong with him. He was on his back on a raised table with a light above him. And then he realised that there was 3 small, bald grey aliens with large eyes looking at him. Walton panicked and tried to attack them, knocking over the one nearest to him, who fell over surprisingly easily. He has since told a number of interviewers that he didn't think they were trying to harm him, but instead wanted to help him after he was obviously stunned by the alien's tractor beam or bright light. He was then helped by what looked like a human wearing an astronaut's helmet, who moved him to another room where the 3 aliens put a clear plastic mask on his face. The next thing Walton knew was that he was walking along a highway as the golden disc flew away above him. All the other forestry workers gave the same account of what had happened to Travis Walton, and Walton himself can remember in incredible detail the strange and traumatic experience. Right down to minor details, like just how bright the light above him on the table was, or the exact layout of the rooms in the craft. He also describes it as the most terrifying experience of his life. He had to have been abducted by aliens to have such a vivid memory of it, and for his colleagues to all have witnessed the same thing.
It sounds terrifying. I'm not sure I would forget an experience like that either. But he may not have had the experience at all. There is something psychologists call the false memory phenomenon. That's when people can remember something very clearly, even though it didn't really happen to them. This syndrome can happen for a number of reasons. But if Walton did indeed have some sort of accident or memory loss, and people around him believe he was abducted by aliens, there is a chance that he has formed a memory to support that idea. But I don't think any of it truly happened. Instead, Travis Walton and the other forestry workers had prepared the story beforehand, so they all knew exactly what to say. One member of the forestry crew recalled that not long before the incident, he saw Travis Walton and their boss and Walton's brother-in-law, Mike Rogers, discussing how they had seen a recent dramatisation of an alien abduction story. They were arguing about how a UFO might fly. The Waltons' family were known for being interested in UFOs, regularly talking about how they wanted to be taken on board one. They were also known for practical jokes. UFO researcher Raymond E. Fowler, who believes in UFOs, said that he thought members of the crew had been tricked with a hoax planned by Mike Rogers and Travis Walton. A number of other authors and UFO experts agree. A few years later, another one of the crew reported that he thought it was a hoax too, because everyone had been made to work later that day, past dark, which was very unusual. Plus, Travis hadn't turned up to work because apparently he was ill. And Mike Rogers disappeared from the site for 2 hours, and no one knows where he went. At the time, the forestry crew were in trouble for not finishing the job by a deadline and were due to get quite a large fine from the Forestry Commission. The UFO incident not only helped them avoid the fine, but also brought the Waltons a lot of money in article, book and film deals. so it could easily have all been set up to help them out.
That is really interesting, but making a golden disc the size of a disc of giraffes would be a huge prank. How would they even begin to make something like that and have it look so realistic back in 1975 in the middle of a forest?
Well, special effects have been around for a long time. Star Wars came out in 1977 and that was full of them. There's also a high chance it was just a very bright light from a nearby fire tower. They heard from all their friends and colleagues there was a golden disc there, so they were more likely to believe it. Maybe the workers had the false memory phenomenon that there was one there.
I think Travis Walton was abducted by UFOs, but if this was an epic prank, I'd also really respect it. The thing is, as you'll see in the second piece of evidence, we can prove that none of them were lying about what happened.
Second piece of evidence.
The second piece of evidence is that everyone involved took part in polygraph or lie detector tests. Firstly, after Travis Walton disappeared, the other forestry workers took polygraph tests at the police station to prove they hadn't harmed their colleague. They all passed apart from one, whose results the police said were inconclusive. When Travis Walton returned, he skipped a polygraph test with the police, but he did do a 2-hour interview under hypnosis. And then later, he, as well as his co-workers, all took polygraph tests set up by the National Enquirer newspaper. Again, they all passed. So that's 6 forestry workers and Travis Walton who all did lie detector tests about what they saw and passed them. That shows that Travis Walton must have been abducted by aliens.
That is impressive that they all passed. But the first thing to remember is that polygraph tests are, at best, only 80% reliable. They can be affected by so many different things, from someone's blood pressure to how they are breathing at the time. Polygraphs were widely used by American police forces in the 1970s, but in 2002, a report by the American National Research Council declared them inaccurate, stating that specific incident polygraph tests can discriminate lying from truth-telling at rates well above chance, though well below perfection. And hypnosis, like the type Travis Walton was interviewed under, is also a type of pseudoscience. That means it's thought of as scientific, but there's no evidence that it actually works.
80% accurate across 7 people, though. I'm not sure what the odds are on that, but it must mean that some of it was true.
Maybe, but Travis's co-workers were asked if they'd hurt Walton, and they hadn't. So when they said they hadn't, they were right. If they had also been pranked, they may have thought they had seen a UFO, so they wouldn't have been lying. And the person who was hired to do Travis's polygraph test by the National Enquirer publicly said that Walton was engaged in a gross deception and that he had been purposely holding his breath to beat the machine.
If holding your breath beats a polygraph machine, I wonder if divers and swimmers get away with lying all the time.
Good point, and you can't even see their eyes under their goggles. I'm going to be a lot more suspicious of professional swimmers from now on.
Me too. But one thing I think you can trust, at least when proving Travis Walton was abducted by aliens, is the final piece of evidence.
Third piece of evidence.
When Travis Walton was found, he was given a medical examination. The doctors found that he seemed very confused and that he'd lost weight, which Travis Walton himself confirmed to an interviewer many years later was around 10 to 12 pounds. He had a lesion or puncture wound on the inside crease of his right elbow, similar to when someone has had an IV in hospital for fluids or medicine. The doctors thought the mark was around 24 to 48 hours old, so those must be the marks caused by whatever the aliens were doing to him on their ship.
There's not been any evidence that those marks were made by any kind of alien technology, and there is every chance that Travis Walton did them to himself or had help from someone else to do them, so they made his story more convincing. What is interesting, though, is that there were certain conditions that researchers say are the main cause for people to believe they were abducted by aliens. The first is sleep paralysis, where you wake up in a deep sleep and you find you can't move your body. This half-asleep state often makes you see and hear things that aren't there. Another is false memory syndrome, which is related to what I mentioned earlier. Except with false memory syndrome, having a traumatic or scary event happen to you can give you false memories, as your brain tries to figure out what occurred. But Travis Walton didn't report any issues with sleep paralysis, recovered memories, or any other common elements found in alien abduction cases, which means it's very likely he made it all up as part of a hoax.
Or everyone else that says they've been abducted made it up, and Travis Walton's story was the real one.
This is tricky. because if I disagree with you, that means I think that other alien abduction cases are real. And I don't think they are.
A team trusted trap.
Thing is, as well as all the evidence, I'm just not sure why aliens would want to bring humans onto their spaceships.
Well, that was a lovely weekend break on Earth. Time to fly home.
Hello!
Ah! How did you get here?
Oh, you left the door open when you parked in the forest, and I just thought I'd climb in.
No. We don't take humans. That's not in our code.
Oh, why not? I really want to go to space. I packed my bag full of stuff I need, like a water bottle, sun cream, and some cheese strings.
No, absolutely not. Firstly, you are not ready to know we exist yet. I can't just fly you home to my house on your Axis 12. What would they say? And that's not to mention any contamination issues.
I did have a bath. Oh, no, wait, that was last week. Come on, no, let me stay. I'm really good company. I know loads of jokes, and I can share my cheese strings.
No. And secondly, you would be really annoying to fly with. Do you know how many of my friends have been screamed at or punched at just for trying to put a band-aid on someone who got singed by our tractor beams?
Annoying? Us? No, we can't be. We're humans. You're lovers, really. Does this ship have lasers? What about a space toilet? Can you fly through wormholes? Can we visit Saturn?
Oh, just sit still while I work out what to do with you.
Oh, what do these buttons do? Oh, and these ones.
Don't press anything! Oh, you have no idea what it might!
I like this big red button.
Thank goodness for that. They always say, keep your doors closed when on Earth. But did I listen?
Oh, rats, not again. I'm glad that happened before the human demanded to put their rubbish playlist on.
Yeah, or got crumbs everywhere. You know who would be brilliant travel companions, though? That's right, our chief detectives.
This week, it's up to you to decide. Was Travis Walton abducted by aliens or not?
Time for an evidence recap.
Evidence recap.
The first piece of evidence is Travis Walton's account of what happened to him, and the accounts of his 6 colleagues who all had the same story. They witnessed him get trapped in a beam of light from a golden disc, after which he disappeared for several days. Travis Walton remembers being on a bed with small grey aliens looking at him, and he can recall several very minor details about the experience. It must have happened for Walton to have such a vivid memory of it, and for his co-workers to have reported the same events.
Many people say what happened was a hoax by Walton and his boss and brother-in-law, Mike Rogers, and that the other workers were fooled by it. The forestry company Travis Walton worked for was about to get a large fine, which the UFO incident helped them avoid. Travis and Rogers were heard talking about watching a UFO documentary just days before, and they both acted suspiciously on the day it happened. It's thought the bright light was from a fire tower and not a golden disc.
The second piece of evidence is that after it happened, Walton and the 6 forestry workers all took polygraph or lie detector tests and passed. That proves they weren't lying about the incident.
Polygraph tests aren't very accurate, and their results can be affected by so many factors, including someone's blood pressure or how they are breathing. The person who was hired to take Walton's polygraph test said that Travis held his breath to beat the machine.
The final piece of evidence is that Travis Walton had a medical examination when he returned, and they found that he'd lost weight. He also had a small puncture wound on his arm, evidence that he had been tested on by aliens.
There is no evidence that Walton's wound or weight loss was caused by alien technology. Not only that, but he didn't have any of the other symptoms usually associated with alien abduction stories, such as sleep paralysis or false memory syndrome.
So now we're handing it over to you, Chief Detectives.
What do you think? Are you a Travis Walton incident mystery mythbuster?
Or a Travis Walton incident mystery myth truster?
Ask your grown-ups to send your voice notes to hello@bustortrust.com. Let us know why you're a myth truster or mythbuster on this case or any of our other cases.
And if you're sending us a voice note or an email, make sure your grown-ups give us permission to use them in future episodes.
Let's see what our chief detectives have to say this week about some of our cases.
My name's Gabe. I'm from Louisiana. I live in Louisiana, and I'm a team. I'm Miss Truster, like double team Miss Truster, because like how could they build the map in the middle? Like build the map, the Paris map, like in the late times, and they have to be helped by aliens and sea creatures and like sea people that of the human sea race. And I think my favorite part is when like before the end of the episodes, that fun part. That's the end.
Hi, Gabe. Well, you're a double team truster. Team trust. I'm very impressed. And, I think that's a great way to look at it. How did they make a map so brilliantly back then, unless it was with help from aliens and sea people who... I don't even know how they make maps, because it must be tricky not getting the paper all wet.
Yeah, I'm really interested in the idea of, like, a sea race of humans. Do you think they'd smell like fish?
I think they'd sort of look like humans, but they'd get in boats and cross water that way. Could be really strange. Thanks, Gabe.
Really makes you think.
Hi, I'm Fiona, and I'm 8 years old, and I'm from Durham, North Carolina, and I'm a Black Shuck Mythbuster, because how can a dog pass through a church and kill 2 people?
Hi, Fiona. That is very sensible detective work. How can a dog pass through a church and kill 2 people? You'd think it'd probably have a bit of a sing-song first and sit in a pew. It seems very rushed, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think about if I've ever seen a dog in a church, and it's not done that. So, I mean, it's good. Yeah, good thinking.
Logical. That's just logic.
Thanks, Fiona.
I think the black shark is real because I think it's also the beast of Bodmin Moor, and it might even explain the Jersey Devil and the Warminster thing, and I think there's many of them. I think there's many of them. I also think it has teleporting powers. And yeah.
And what's your name?
Oscar, and I live in New York City, Brooklyn.
Wow, Oscar, you think the Beast of Bodmin Moor may also help explain the Jersey Devil. I like this. Are all our monsters connected? I mean, I always feel like the Yeti and the Yukimar probably hang out with Bigfoot, and now you've got the Beast of Bodmin Moor and the Jersey Devil, who apparently hung out with a ghost as well. So maybe they all have these big conventions and they all have a lovely monster time together.
They're like Avengers, but like mythical beings. Yeah.
I like that. The mythic Avengers.
Fantastic. I think we have the best, most intelligent listeners ever.
We really, really do. And if you enjoyed the show, please follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, or wherever you listen to your podcasts for more great episodes.
Subscribers help us make this podcast, and all of our subscribers get a shout out on the show. Find out how you can support Bust or Trust by heading to bustortrust.com for all the details.
As a subscriber, you get to hear all our extended episodes, ad-free early release, and we'll give you a behind-the-scenes look into Bust or Trust HQ.
Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time for some more Bust or Trust. Tiernan, I found the best place for you to get a lift from aliens.
Oh, really? Thanks, Athena. Where is it?
Come and have a look on my screen.
That's a local car park. Why would I find aliens there?
Look closer. It says space available.